Now, as we get older, we accumulate a lot of knowledge and wisdom, life experiences. But with that knowledge and wisdom, we also unfortunately collect a lot of baggage, and that baggage is in the form of regrets. And if you don't have regrets, well, you're just not human. You know, you need to get off this planet because everyone has some sort of regret, whether it's large ones or small ones. Now, I was curious and asked a lot of older people what type of regrets they had. Older people, older than myself. And, you know, probably the number one thing is they wish they would have taken care of themselves better health-wise. That's a big one. But then you also have, you know, they wish they would have spent more time with their family. A lot of widowers wish they had spent more quality time with their spouse. That's a big one. And of course, their career or life path. I wish, you know, a lot of people wish that was a little bit different. And I just read here lately, recently, that there is a guy and here in the country that somehow somebody threw away his old computer, and unfortunately it had almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin on it. You know, he bought it really cheap way back in the day, and it was on the hard drive. And I don't know a lot about Bitcoin or crypto, but evidently if it was on your hard drive and it got thrown away, it's gone. So he spent the next 10 years digging around this landfill trying to find that old computer tower and hard drive. I think when I read the article recently, after a decade, it said he finally gave up. I mean, talk about regrets. That would be a huge regret. Now, personally, I've collected plenty of regrets myself. And mine, I think some of the biggest ones with me is my career. And, you know, I was in the restaurant business for over 30 years. And while it was very rewarding and I really, you know, enjoyed it at times, most of the time it was very stressful and very demanding of my time. You could not leave it there. I brought it home with me. I might have drank a little too much when I was in the restaurant business. It's very stressful. You know, I regret in 2020 when they shut all of us down, I regret not just closing the business at that time. I should have. I should have closed the business and started a YouTube channel. I'd be so much further ahead now. But I'm a little bit tenacious, and I tried to make it work for the next 3 years. And in those 3 years, all I did was empty my life savings. I lost money on the business. We didn't have help that came. They didn't come back after the COVID shutdown. And customers, you know, the price of food was getting ridiculous, and customers were sharing plates, and we weren't making money. But I stuck in there for 3 years, and in 2023, I told my wife, we can't do this anymore. We're going to become homeless. This place is killing us. So I was forced to shut it down, and I was forced into retirement. Which actually now is a bit of a blessing. I can't imagine owning a restaurant right now with the food prices and everything. Restaurants are hurting all over the country. They might not say they are, but they are. They're not making nearly enough money to survive. But anyways, I wish I would have maybe done a different career. I kind of regret that. And with that regret comes, you know, I couldn't spend time with my boys like I wanted to. Weekends and holidays, you're in that kitchen. That's when you're busy. And that's when the boys were off school. Summers, no summer vacation, we were busiest then. So I really, really regret that. And besides that, you know, it wrecked my body over the years. So I can't even get a job now if I wanted to. There's a lot of negatives that I had with that business. It made money up until 2020, and then I lost my butt on it. Just like what they say, you know, you spill a glass of milk, regrets are like that also. You can't take it back, and you'll never get that time back, and that bothers me quite a bit. Of course, you know, I wish I would have taken care of my health a little bit better. If I would have closed earlier, instead of trying to push through those long days, I might not have hurt my body the way I have. But there are things that you can do now to alleviate some of those regrets. You know, and of course, spend more time with your family. You know, if you're older, spend more time, get to know your grandchildren. That's another regret older people have. You know, I miss my grandparents so much every day. I was very close to them, and the wisdom that they had, that that they gave me, was huge. And really take the time. You might live, you know, further apart, but try when you can, you know, connect with your grandchildren. That will mean the world for them, and it'll also make you feel really good also. Another thing is, I'm not a widower. I'm married. I'm married, and I know a lot of you maybe have lost your spouse, and you might have regrets. You know, could have spent maybe more quality time together, and maybe said things that you wish you hadn't. You know, one thing that I try to do. I'm not perfect, but every once in a while, I wake up in the morning and I tell myself, Tim, remember the first morning you woke up with your beautiful wife. How did you feel? You know, I felt so proud to be your husband, and I loved her so much. And, you know, when I walk out and she's up and get my cup of coffee, it really makes a lot of difference, you know, on how we react to each other. I know over time you take your spouse for granted, but every once in a while do a little reality check and you know, remember why you were married. I know it can fade away a little bit, but keep that going as much as you can. And this message is for the younger people that are still working. If you are working a really demanding job where you have no time for your family, really, I mean, you know, I get it. You have to make money to support your family. But if you can at all, even if it takes, you know, you lose a little bit of money, find another job. You know, find a job where you're off on weekends, that you can spend quality time with your family. Don't do a job where you're bringing it home with you. And that was a real problem of mine. Don't bring your job home with you. When you leave work, it stays there. And if they want you to do work at home, extra stuff, you're not working in a good job, I don't think. The other thing, of course, is health. I know my body isn't what it used to be, but I still try to be as active as I can. The worst thing you can do is just sit on the couch all day. So I like making these videos. It gets me out. Oh man, I'm sorry. It is so windy out here today. Hopefully you don't hear it. I found a little a cubby nook here where it's not quite as bad, but I've got things blowing around. But what was I talking about? I I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, health. Health. Be as active as you can. And, get out there. You might get up in the morning like I do and everything hurts. You just don't have any motivation, but force yourself to get out, maybe walk just a little bit. It doesn't take that much. Limbers things up a little bit. I try to do that. I need to do it a little bit more. I try to eat healthy as I can, but I still need to get out there, and I'm always trying to lose weight also. That's always a goal of mine. So I hope this video brings up some things to think about, maybe to work on, so you don't have regrets. Just because you're older, it doesn't mean your regrets stop. They just change. So don't let that happen to you. I appreciate you watching this video. And I think I'm actually up to 12 subscribers now. And thank you very much for choosing to watch me. I will continually get better at these videos, but I really appreciate you taking the time to hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. I would really like to grow this channel enough to make a little bit of passive income, because right now I have nothing. But, again, that will change when we sell our property. I hope we get a little extra money for that. But until next time, thank you very much.